Hello there. What is going on, everyone? It is Boba Fett time in Star Wars Legion. We're going to build a Boba Fett list and bring some bounty hunting to the rebellion and try to do some wild and crazy stuff with this guy. I think there's some things that are going to be really fun to do with Boba Fett and some fun ways to make him, interesting, and I think just some cool stuff to do. So, with all that being said, we're going to be using Legion HQ today. You can head over to legionhq.thefifthtrooper.com to check out this awesome list building tool. You know, a lot of times I'll use either this or Tabletop Admiral, but Tabletop Admiral didn't have one of the important new cards for Boba Fett, and Legion HQ does. So that's why I'm using them today. Of course, they're both great tools, so you should definitely check them both out. Also want to let you guys know we are doing still the lightsaber giveaway that's running through the end of the year, plus the 12 days of Life Day, which are going on all this month. All you have to do to enter to win any of the giveaways is to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. I also want to thank today's sponsor. You know, you've heard me talk about them. It's the amazing luxury playstyle tokens. If you head over to luxuryplaystyle.com, you're going to find all these amazing Legion compatible tokens, plus the all new ions and observes and poisoned and immobilized tokens, and just really cool stuff. Plus, you're going to want some immobilized tokens if you are using Boba Fett, because he likes to tie up some Jedi from time to time. You know, he can potentially, depending on what command cards you want to use, he might just have some sneaky getaway mechanics. But he's pretty bad, and bad like Michael Jackson bad. Anyway, maybe not like Michael Jackson bad. Anyway, but yeah, head over to Luxury Playstyle and don't forget to use code Crabbok VIP, and you're gonna save 15% on your orders. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Boba Fett, and he's coming in at 120 points. He's getting ready to arrive here momentarily. Some people have already got him in hand. I have not yet, so I figured I'd just do a list building, which is, I guess, the next best thing. If you don't have him in hand, you can kind of theory craft a little bit. He does have independent standby. That's a big deal for him. If he doesn't get an order, he's going to get a free standby. He's going to be able to use Sentinel with that standby, so it makes his standby range 3. And his weapon is a range 3 pierce weapon, which is awfully good for a bounty hunter. He is going to have Sharpshooter 1, Tactical 1. Really nice. He's going to be able to move. He's going to be able to, reduce some of that cover. He's going to have a good, consistent shots. They're not super big shots, though. He's also going to be pretty nasty if you get him into close melee range, which will be very nice. He also has Arsenal 2, which is just a glorious, wonderful thing. So considering all of that, let's go ahead and figure out how we want to build him, what other stuff we're going to want to do. I want to start off, instead of going into the build, I want to talk about some of the command cards. I'm not going to necessarily use all of his command cards because I am going to need other folks in this list. But there's a couple of command cards that I really want to use. One of those is going to be a Simple Man for his 1 pip. Simple Man is great because it's going to give him, if he's not issued an order, so again, it's 1 unit, he can issue the order elsewhere, which is awfully convenient. It's going to give him Marksman if he doesn't do it, and he's also going to gain an aim token and increase the range of his ranged weapons by 1 to a maximum of 5. So this will give him that range 4 shot, or if you really want, since he has a flamethrower, you can now do a range 2 flamethrower, and that flamethrower is the one leaked card that had been spoilt not too long ago. That we've already talked about this card, but I'll be including that later on. And that's kind of how I want to use this one with him. So this one's definitely going in. Also, since he does have a the flamethrower, I also want to add his flame projector, so he can have 2 flamethrowers, which is super cool. I mean, you can use them both in the same turn if you want, or you can use them in different turns. It may not be the most tactically efficient way to run him, but I think it'd be really fun. I also want to do making his way in the galaxy as a nice little Grievous style thwap against a whole bunch of nearby melee units, and I want to kind of run him fairly up close and personal, so I think this will be a good card to include. And then I'm going to also include his other new card, Rule with Respect. Let's find it in here. Not standing orders, my friend. Command, yes. Rule with Respect. This one is especially cool. And this one does a whole bunch of very, very fancy shenanigans. So you give him an order with this one, and then you can give some other people orders too. You probably want to activate Boba close to last, or if not dead last, in this particular image. Boy, they really drew Boba with a little extra poundage on that one too. Huh? It's all right, it's all right. It's making a cosplay for Boba a lot easier for a lot of the rest of us, if you know what I'm saying. That's okay. All right. While Boba Fett has a face-up order token when a friendly unit at range 1 and in line of sight of him makes a ranged attack, add 1 black die to one of that unit's attack pools. So I really like this because it's something that you can do kind of early before Boba is up close and personal, or you can do it later if other people are up close and personal with him. So this is good for your long range units shooting from the back, or it's also good for closer range units that are up close with him. And we're going to have both of those in the list today. So this one is really just a great card. Adding 1 die to somebody's attack pool is really cool. It's really good for cards like snipers that have a very small attack pools, but that tend to do very, very well. And that's going to work in this case. And so I really like that. Now, that's not all the command cards we're going to be using, but those are all of Boba's command cards that I'm going to be using. And I feel like that's going to influence and inform a lot of the other selections we make with the list. So I wanted to lead with that. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the upgrades that we're going to be doing today. First off, we're going to do some training upgrades. Since I do want to kind of run him up close and personal, I'm going to give him up close and personal. He can gain some dodge tokens. The reason I want him to get some dodge tokens, even though, look, he's got that great Mandalorian armor, right? He's got impervious. He's got red defense die. He's got surge for defense, but he's not invincible. He's only got 5 health. So the dodge tokens may come in handy, especially when he goes into the fire, into the doom and gloom of getting up close with enemy folks. And since I do expect him to get shot around a lot around that time, I'm going to give him endurance so he doesn't panic off the board. I mean, he does have 3 panic, but sometimes people just go crazy. Plus, I don't want him losing actions, so it's not really the threat of him panicking is a little bit lower. But the threat of him having 3 suppression on him after rallying is a little bit more realistic. And so I want him to be able to, always have his 2 actions. And so, because he doesn't have relentless, he doesn't have charge, he's only speed 2, he has jump 1, but he needs to be able to get where he needs to get. He needs to get in position, and so that's a good thing for him. All right, and then we've got some equipment over here. I'm gonna give him emergency stims. It's an upgrade card I haven't run in a long time. It used to be a little more expensive. It's kind of roller coastered, and I think for him with only 5 health, in case your dice betray you and you get really unlucky with him, that's an insurance policy. It's expensive, but since he's your bounty hunter, you do need him to stay alive. And since I have 4 command cards for him in there, I also really need him to stay alive. And then the last one we're going to put in here is the Boba Fett's Flame Projector. This is the card that is just so cool because it's basically his 2-pip on a card. It's blast, spray, and suppressive 5 points, 1-time use, once per game. But since he has Arsenal 2, you could, in theory, run that Flame Projector. With this one, you could run them both. It's possible. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to do. And having fun is why I play the game. So now on to the rest of the list. What's going to help out Boba Fett? Well, I think I want to start with the most sacrilegious option to run with Boba Fett, and that's Han Solo. Han and Boba are going to team up because I think it's a beautiful thing. Han is also going to do really, really well with that 3-pip because Han, his damage gets through. He's got Pierce 2 and Surge to Crit, right? And he's got Gunslinger. And so, what better shot to have an extra die added to it than Han Solo's shot? So I think that's just a really great one. So when you're up close and personal, let's have Han Solo take advantage of that 3-pip that Boba has. I love it. I'm going to give Han improvised orders, since we're going to have a little bit of different stuff in here, and that's always a good one. It also helps us get Boba's stuff a little bit easier, since he is a merc, and I can't give him orders directly, right? And we're going to give him also up close and personal, since Han usually likes to shoot at range 2. I'm going to also put Han's buddy in here. I'm going to put Chewbacca in here. Chewbacca is another way to help keep Boba alive. Since I think people might want to take shots at Boba instead of Han. And I've got a lot of protection for Boba, who doesn't even need that much protection, but I'm just giving him a lot of protection. Plus, Chewie gets awesome once he's taken some wounds. So I like that. I'm going to give Chewie Hunter. It's a great way to potentially get some extra aims and pass those aims over to Han, potentially, as well. It's always a fun one. And plus, Han can do the same thing with up close and personal, pass those dodges over to Chewie. Both of these happen to work pretty well. All right, so now that we've got those, I'm going to add. We've got our 2 operatives. Again, we don't need any underworld connections or anything like that since I'm only using 1 merc. I'm fine. I do have 1 commander, 2 operatives. I want to add another commander. I want to add Cassian Andor. Somebody else. If I decide I'm going to pop Boba Fett's 3-pip early in the game, and I want to take advantage of Cassian Andor's snipe from across the entire board, which we'll put right here. It's a 10-point card, but it's got 2 dice. It's got high velocity. It's got Pierce 1 built into it already. I really like it, especially if he happens to have, if he wants to, if he moves, he can't snipe and move though. He can't snipe and move because he's got cumbersome. But if he wants to aim and shoot, then he's going to have Pierce 2 on this and an extra die from, like just really cool stuff. So I like Cassian with that. I think that's the, I think I'm only going to give Cassian a little bit more. I think I'll give him Hunter also, so he can potentially get an extra aim if he does need rerolls. I mean, again, with 3 dice, you actually might need a reroll, but I like the idea of Hunter. Just works good on him because he may not always have all that other good stuff. All right. Plus, he's got Marksman, so he just gets to turn it to, he gets to upgrade 1. So again, if you're able to aim and then shoot somebody who's already wounded, then you're really going to get great stuff because then you have another aim and you can either upgrade or you just give it another pierce. It's just really cool, right? Because this weapon is it's got pierce. Oh, it doesn't have it has high velocity. It doesn't have the upgrade, or I'm sorry, it doesn't have lethal. So we're not going to be able to give it another one. But still, being able to upgrade our dice to crits with all those extra aims, also very, very good. All right, let's go ahead and look at our core, because we do need to have some core units in this one. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start off with one of my favorite core units in the game. It's the Rebel Veterans. They are a very good unit. Again, they've got both surges. They've got Defend 1, they get free dodges, and they can also issue orders to the Emplacement Trooper. They got black dice for attack and surge to hit. So they're pretty nice. They have a really, really good heavy who gives them critical 2 as well with 4 extra white dice. It's just a good overall unit. It works for some anti-vehicle firepower if needed. It works for just about everything. We're going to give them the comm technician, and one of my favorite upgrades here, of course, the HQ uplink. And that is also going to allow us to add in the Mark II, which is a great fire support option. Again, I really like fire support, especially when it comes to somebody like Boba Fett who has who wants to take out a commander and get that bounty. Or Han Solo shooting when he's got Pierce 2, and then you get to add a whole bunch of extra dice to that, and you're really more likely to get those damage through. Very, very fun thing. Plus, you're adding critical 2 to the attack pool, so you can just do that for anybody else who might need critical. Great card. So I'm running those 2, and I'm going to run 2 more Rebel Troopers. I'm going to put Rebel Troopers in there. These are going to be basic Rebel Troopers. They're going to be objective getters, but they're also going to be medics. And I'm going to just hit the +1 over here to increase that. So we have 2 Rebel Troopers with the medical droid. This is basically, look, we got a lot of wounds that are going to be coming into Boba. Maybe Chewie's going to take a little bit too many too soon. It's just an extra insurance policy. I really don't want Boba dying, at least not early in the game. And sometimes, for a unit that has to get up close and personal, they take a lot of fire. They just do, and I'm trying to minimize that. So that's the idea here. Next thing we're gonna do is I want some more long range stuff. So in case I think I've got a lot of close range stuff for in case Boba pops his 3-pip late in the game. We've got Han who can do it, Chewie who can do it. Rebel Veterans and even the Mark II might be close enough to him by then. Cassian might be close enough to him. The Rebel Troopers here might be. They won't be that great with just 1 extra die, but at least it's 1 extra die, so it's something. But I wanted to have more options in case I have to go early on in the game, so I want some snipers. And I'm not going to max out my snipers. I usually don't like to do that, but I will add a strike team with the sniper. And again, only 2 dice, but you got Pierce 1 and high velocity, so this would make it 2 black and a white, which would be if you did it with Boba's 3-pip, and then you have surge to hit already on there plus sharpshooter. It's real nice. So we've added 1 to those, and we're going to hit the +1 there. That's going to bring us up to 799 points, and that's 10 activations. You've got a lot of named characters. We've got 4 hero characters in this build, and it's 10 activations. This is why Rebels are kind of bonkers. They have really good characters for cheap. I don't know how long they'll be cheap, though, because we are going to be seeing another points update very, very soon, any day now. Maybe even later today. Who knows? There's also supposed to be a new tournament regulation coming out, possibly new FAQ or RRG entries. Basically we're getting the whole bundle of documentation, and it's coming out very, very soon. So that's going to be exciting. One other thing I have to do, I'm not really going to do the battle cards for this one because I always pick the same things anyway. It's always going to be battle line, and I don't know. I'm boring with those. So I'm going to forego that part because I think this one, it can work for a lot of stuff. It has long range stuff, it has close range stuff, and it has a decent number of activations. It doesn't have a whole lot of vehicle stuff, though, right? I got to figure out the rest of my command cards. So if we look at our command cards, I've already got 1 pip, 2 pips, and a 3 pip. So I don't have any more room for 2 pips. In this case, I'm going to go with Hans. Sorry about the mess. This is just a great card. It's when you have to win a tie, and it gives out a free aim and a dodge. So I do like that one. And then for the rest of these, as cool as it would be to have Cassian Andor give Danger Sense 1 to Boba Fett, he can't issue him the order because he doesn't have Underworld connections. So I'm going to give this one to Change of Plans, which is an incredible card. It's one of the best 3 pips in the game because you get to say, oh, you're going to play that card this turn? No, I don't think so. And then you have the ability to veto. And that's really incredible. So that's what we're going with for those 2 cards. You feel free to swap some out if you're thinking about doing this. You could certainly, maybe swap out Han's 1 pip, which is a 0 pip, for Cassian's 1 pip, which is a really good card also. There's definitely options like that. So you can have some fun with it, guys. Also, I have some other news since we are in December and we are doing the 12 Days of Life Day. I thought I would talk about our today's winner because we're going to announce the first winner today. And congratulations to our winner, who is Kyle McKenzie. Today's winner, Kyle McKenzie, you've just won the Legion Saber Tank for the Republic. So yes, we did our preview show the other day. Kyle, you just won yourself a Saber Tank. And so how did you enter to win that? You just had to be a subscriber and leave a comment. Oh, it's as simple as that. There's lots more giveaway gifts coming. Some will be big, like the Saber Tank. Some will be small. I did, if you want to see some of the things that we have that are coming out, check out our recent video where we talked about all the prizes that are going to be coming out for 12 Days of Life Day. And this is just my way of giving back to you guys. And it's pretty fun. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys help make this all possible. Patrons get another shot at all of these loot because whatever goes unclaimed rolls over into Patreon. So keep that in mind, and may the force be with you, and happy holidays.